I've seen that a lot with lots of people's stories. And so it's probably worth exploring even for you, because sometimes when we're ready to do something, we have to make sure that the other person is aligned and ready at the same time. Hey guys, it is Mel from Mel Ryan 100% You, just jumping on with our weekly update. It's been a busy week, and I've had lots of conversations with people about feeling like they're getting somewhere and things are starting to, unfold and they're moving forward. And then all of a sudden, what feels so right is stopped in their tracks. And it's not finally stopped, but it's like a little adjustment. So it's like a pause, or you thought you were going to meet with that person, and then all of a sudden that's cancelled, that meeting, or you were starting a job, but you get a different day to start, or lots of things. So it's like we're moving forward and then we're getting sidetracked or put in a little, side bubble, and then something has to happen before we move forward again. I've seen that a lot with lots of people's stories. And so it's probably worth exploring even for you, because sometimes when we're ready to do something, we have to make sure that the other person is aligned and ready at the same time. And that can take a little bit of adjustment. If you think about what's going on at the moment, not only do we have to be ready, the other person needs to be ready, but also the universe in some way needs to be ready, because there's so much shifting and changing at the moment. And so there's a little bit of patience, I think, that's being requested of us in a change of seasons. Autumn is that slowing down and the changing, the leaves change, things let go of things. We're moving into a time where we're, processing everything that's happened, and we're trying to make that adjust somehow within us. And that's really important to remember, particularly at the moment, because we have to almost let things unfold. It's like you let the leaves change. We have to let things unfold in our life. So sometimes we can feel like we're forcing things to move forward, and we get met with a block in those areas. And so then we get excited. And that's what I was saying, where we feel like, oh my God, it's moving, it's happening. And then it doesn't again. So we keep on this roller coaster of feeling like finally we're making headway. And then all of a sudden we feel like we're paused again. Concentrate on the small wins, concentrate on the little connections, or the, yeah, it does feel right, but maybe there's some tiny little adjustment that I need to do in that to make sure that everything's on point or everything's ready at the same time. And sometimes it's trusting in that big picture, because, we make the plan and then the timing is something that we can't control. So I think, the little message that's coming through this week is pause, move, pause again, adjust, and then flow. So there's lots of things that are happening behind the scenes in lots of ways that we're not in control of. And it's our ability to be able to be okay in that moment. It's not forcing the conversations, not forcing the relationships. It's like other people need to be ready too. So let them come to you, let them sort out in their time when it needs to be, where they meet you in the middle. So we're not chasing people into the little corners to try and work out what we want to work out. That's really important, particularly in relationships right now. Not forcing decisions. So if you really need it done now, why is it so important for you that it has to be done now? Is there something that you can just let it unfold a little bit easier than making sure that it's chopped and done? So there's lots of little side steps in all of our plans going on. And I think, even for me personally, that's such a frustrating space, because we feel like we're getting somewhere and then we're not. But it's in the side steps that the adjustment is so important, because it pulls us on a better path all the time. And in that, it's allowing ourselves to hold the plan all the time for something new to come along, or some other adjustment that we can add into what we're doing to come along. So the slowness of things unfolding sometimes have a beauty in it in itself, because it ends up being better. Remember, in this space, the best way to support ourselves is really to listen to what feels right, listen to what we can do in the space. Listen has the same letters as silent. So for me, that's the pause. That's the space in between. That's the letting things happen without me being loud or noisy, and me being silent enough to be able to hear what is happening that I might be able to pick up on, so I can make the situation even better than it is. So I think, going into the depths of autumn and all of that. That's a really beautiful space in listening and silent and reflection and feeling what feels right and not forcing things and holding that space for ourselves and each other, remember, so people can meet us when they need to meet us. Is, as much as it feels frustrating because we're not ticking boxes, the unfolding is such a stronger and more powerful way to get where we really want to go and what feels right for us. So that's my weekly update. So enjoy the little sidestepping that it feels like that we're all doing right now. Let me know all the beautiful ways that you are supporting yourself, and I will catch you all next week.